Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into a truly fascinating study, a real Jyotish Shastra ka Adhyayan. We're going to explore the architectural blueprint of Vedic astrology. Now, we aren't just talking about vague predictions here. We're going to unpack the exact mathematical and astronomical reality that actually makes up a kundali. If you've ever wondered what is really going on beneath the surface of those complex diamond-shaped charts, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's jump in.
So let's start with the basics of the architecture. The fundamental structure of a kundali is actually a perfect map of the daily rotation of the Earth. When you look at the chart, that top central diamond represents the first house, or the lagna, and it corresponds exactly to the morning, specifically the eastern horizon at sunrise. Move to the right side, and you've got the 10th house, which corresponds to the sky right at noon. Down at the bottom, the 4th house is midnight, or patal, and over on the left is sunset. This isn't just an arbitrary drawing, guys. It's literally a two-dimensional clock and compass mapping the exact state of the sky.
All right, here is our roadmap for this session. We'll start off by mapping the 12 bhavas, ground them in the ancient Sanskrit shlokas, dig into the astronomical math, discuss the essential precautions you have to take in calculation, and finally, look at their ultimate significance in kundali creation.
Section 1. The 12 bhavas, mapping the dimensions of human life. You know, human life is incredibly complex, right? But the ancient sages managed to systematically divide the entirety of human experience into 12 distinct dimensions, or bhavas. Every possible event, relationship, or psychological state falls into one of these 12 buckets, and the sequence always kicks off right at the top center, the lagna, or ascendant. From there, the houses are numbered, moving counterclockwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, spiraling outward along a fixed geometric path.
Let's quickly break down exactly what these houses mean, starting with the first 6. The first bhava is Tanu, governing the physical body and the self, or sharir. The second is Dan, mapping your accumulated wealth and speech, Sampatti or Vani. The third, Sahaj or Bandhav, is all about your siblings and your raw courage, Pai Behanar Paraklam. The fourth is Sukh, which is the house of deep inner happiness and the mother, Mata or Sukh. The fifth, Patra, represents children, romance, and your intellect, Santan ar Buddhi, and the sixth, Ripu, is where we locate life's battles, enemies, debts, and diseases, Shatru Rog ar Rin.
Moving right along to the final 6 houses, we can really see how this builds. The 7th is Striya or Jaya, representing your spouse and your primary partnerships, Jivan Sati. The 8th, Vinash or Randra, maps sudden changes, obstacles, and death, Mrityu or Badhayain. The 9th is Punya or Dharm, indicating religion, higher learning, and fortune, Dharm or Bhagya. The 10th is Karma, the absolute peak of the chart, ruling your profession, status, and public actions, Karm or Vyosai. The 11th is Aya or Lab, bringing income and fulfillment of desires, Amdani or Lab. And finally, the 12th is Vyaya, covering expenses, loss, and ultimate spiritual liberation, Karch or Moksha. It's pretty amazing, honestly. Every single human experience is captured right in this framework.
Section 2. Ancient shlokas and their meanings. Grounding the math in classical texts.
Now, these definitions didn't just appear out of thin air. They're deeply rooted in classical texts that have served as operating manuals for thousands of years. Just listen to the rhythm of this specific Sanskrit shloka. Tanu dhana sahaj bandhava putrari stri vinash punyani karmaya vyaya bhava lagna dhya bhava tadgintaya. Translated into simple Hindi, it gives us the exact sequence directly. Tanu yani sharir, dhan yani sampatti, sahaj yani bhai behan, putra yani santan, ari yani shatru, stri yani jivan sathi, vinash yani mrityu, punya yani dharm, karma yani karya, ay yani amdani, or vyaya yani kharch. The ancient sages essentially compress massive databases of knowledge into this one easily memorized verse.
Section 3. Astronomical and Mathematical Calculations, the engine room of Vedic astrology.
Jyotish Shastra often gets misunderstood as just guesswork, but historically, it was the absolute pinnacle of spatial mathematics. So let's step into the engine room. It all begins with this really beautiful fundamental math, the celestial sphere around the Earth. The ecliptic is a perfect 360-degree belt. To create the zodiac signs, or rashis, this belt is perfectly sliced into 12 equal segments. 360 divided by 12 gives exactly 30 degrees for each sign. That is the unchangeable mathematical grid of the sky.
So how exactly do we lock that massive macro sky into a personal micro chart? Well, first, you absolutely need the precise time, date, and geographic coordinates of birth. Next, you have to mathematically calculate exactly where the Krantivrita, the ecliptic path of the sun, intersects with the Kshatijvrita, the eastern horizon from that specific geographic location. The precise degree of that intersection at the very moment of the first breath becomes the lagna, the first bhava. That single degree anchors the entire 12-house system.
And hey, if you thought that was complicated, just look at the rules for Dvada Samsa from the Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. This deals with the subdivisions or vargas of those 30-degree slices. The text instructs that for odd signs you calculate sequentially, but for even signs, the algorithm completely changes, forcing you to count from the 9th position. It just proves that this whole system relies on highly complex conditional mathematical algorithms, adjusting calculations dynamically based on spatial geometry.
Section 4. Precautions in Calculation. Why precision is the lifeblood of a kundali.
Because this math is so intense, the absolute slightest error, I'm talking being off by just a few degrees or a couple of minutes, can entirely change the nature of a planetary placement, completely throwing off the life prediction. Let's contrast two approaches here. A rough estimate just drops planets into signs and ignores the exact degrees. But true, meticulous Jyotish Shastra requires exact astronomical math. According to the texts, you actually have to calculate Ishtaphala, the specific benefic rays a planet emits, and Kashtaphala, its malefic rays. You have to mathematically adjust for planets that are Vakri or retrograde in their orbits. Basically, a rough chart is a quick sketch. A mathematically precise chart is a high-resolution photograph.
This mathematical caution is absolutely crucial when we map drishti, or planetary sightlines. Take the shadow planet Rahu as a prime example. It doesn't just sit passively in a house, it actively looks at other houses. The texts explicitly state Rahu exerts purna drishti, full sight on the 5th, 7th, 9th, and 12th houses from its placement. But wait, it exerts only half sight on the 2nd and 10th, and just quarter sight on the 3rd and 6th. Imagine trying to map those complex, varying geometric sightlines without extreme mathematical precision. There's just no way. The benefic or malefic impact changes entirely depending on that exact positioning.
Section 5. Significance in Kundali creation. As above, so below.
So, what's the point of all this rigorous math? What is the ultimate purpose of combining exact astronomy with this ancient framework? We are essentially taking the awe-inspiring three-dimensional reality of the physical planets orbiting in the vastness of space, and through careful mathematical transposition, locking that colossal reality down into a two-dimensional geometric map. Creating a kundali isn't just drawing a chart. You are capturing a literal freeze frame of the universe and scaling it down to the exact size of a single human's life.
And ultimately, all of this mathematics points to a profound philosophy, embodied perfectly by the Kala Purusha, the cosmic man. You see, the 12 bhavas aren't just external concepts, they map directly onto human anatomy. The first house, Aries, governs the head, and as you follow the houses all the way down to the 12th house, Pisces, you reach the feet. It's a direct, unbroken line connecting the anatomy of the human body directly to the anatomy of the cosmos itself.
I want to leave you with this thought to really ponder. If the exact, measurable geometry of the cosmos, calculated down to the minute and the degree at the very moment of your first breath, dictates the architecture of your 12 houses, what does your completely unique mathematical blueprint reveal about your destiny? A kundali is not magic, guys. It is profound, highly personalized cosmic mathematics. Keep questioning, keep calculating, and I'll catch you in our next study session.